Hi, welcome to Island Girl Creative Studio online tutorials. I'm here with another video that was requested by you guys. I'm gonna let you kind of dictate what we paint and work that way so that way more of you are getting what you want. This is gonna go hand in hand with the canvas kits that I have been selling online at www.islandgirlcreativestudio.com. You can go to the shopping tab, click on there, find the design that you like, and then when you purchase it, you'll be able to get this kit, which comes with the 16 by 20 canvas, which is facing the wrong way, the paintbrushes, all the paints that you need, and then you follow along with this tutorial here that is totally free and included. So if you have canvas and paint at home and you want to do this on your own, you are totally welcome to do so. I'm just happy to be providing this service to my community, and I want everybody to stay safe and healthy. All right, well, to get started, we work on our background color first, as always. Well, let me grab those from the other table. The first section that we're going to do, and this is just cut up in little sections right here. The first section that we're going to do is this big one right here. We're going to use our sponge brush, the cobalt blue, and we're just going to literally start by outlining what we're about to do and then pulling that paint away. This side doesn't matter, like the inside of the flower isn't going to matter as much as the outside of this canvas. And we really want to see that paint being pulled across the canvas like this. So if you can get the outside to kind of look diagonally away from the center of this. That is going to be awesome, because this is all we see, is we really just see the edge of it, but we definitely want to have it so underneath any of those petals that come off of that flower, we're able to have a color underneath of it. Okay. Keep in mind, I'm going to be painting this way faster than you should be painting it. So please pause the video at any time if I start going to the next step and you are not prepared for that. Now, if at any time you find that you don't have enough paint, you can add a tiny bit of water to it to kind of get it to go a little further, and also a little bit of white. White to any color is going to extend it. Whenever you're using a sponge brush though, you will be very surprised to find out that there is a lot of paint inside of that sucker. So if you keep pushing it, it normally will come out. So we'll get a great big pull of that blue, and then going around the edges will make it look complete. So take it just from the blue section, don't go all the way around it, just where it's blue, match it up with the blue. And so on with the other colors, which you'll see. I'll do that too. But if you notice, I haven't picked up any additional paint, and I'm able to go all the way around this canvas with just that blue color. Look at that. Beautiful. And if you take it on that skinny edge and you pull it into the center, it takes paint off and it leaves paint on it in different ways. It's kind of textury. And you can see in some spaces you can see a little bit of that canvas poking through. But we really just want it to be like a starburst, like whoosh, flying away from that center. Okay, so once you have that in place, you're going to squish the paint off your brush, like we always do. No water needed for this sponge brush because it will suck it all up and make it really hard to clean. Just going to squish the paint off, because look at all that paint that's still inside of there. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, squish it all off, and then we're going to go into our Venetian red. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to do two of those pieces. We're going to do this one and this one here with that Venetian red, and there's a tiny bit of brown in there. So same idea, we just want to get that paint pulled from the corner and into the center, creating a little bit of texture on the canvas. So again, just this little slice right here. And I'm finding that using it on its side, the skinny side, is getting me the best results. So I'm just continuing to do that. And then again, we match it up around the edges to the appropriate color. Starburst. Nice. Okay. And then this one down here. Grab a little more of that paint with the brown on the side. And we're going to fill it all the way in. It's okay if they bleed over onto each other, remember? It's not a big deal. We just have to see, it's majority of the edge that we're going to see over here anyway. That's important. Match up the paint. You can turn it on its side to get to the other side over here. Beautiful. All right, and then the final one is, what I do is I load it up with the Venetian and touch a tiny bit of the black paint, which is going to be in another cup. And we're just going to make two darker quadrants. So you're going to take an outline like this and really make sure that that black gets in there and darkens that up. You might have to pick up a little bit more black, but just do it sparingly. Like start with less and then just add more to it. It's easier to add than it is to get rid of this. Matching it up on this side. Look at that, beautiful. Okay, more Venetian red on there, and then dab, 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 pick up that black paint and get that filled in. Nice base color. There we go. And then match it up on the bottom. Beautiful. Now you're going to want to pause and let this dry because it's going to, the colors will just blend on the canvas if you don't. So definitely take a moment to let that dry. I'm going to push ahead because I know how to wield the paintbrush like a magic wand. Just kidding. But we're going to take our round brush. This is actually going to be the brush that we use for like, well, 90% of what's about to happen here. So we're going to clean this off several times. But to start with, we're going to the black center. So if you look at the original, there's a black center to it. It's actually underneath everything. So you're just going to grab a really good amount of black paint. This is the center of our flower. So you can go ahead and just start pulling out from the center about 2 inches, I want to say, and pull it out like spider legs all the way around like a sun. Now, when the paint's not dry, it wipes off the other paint. So I'm going super thick because that is happening a little bit. You can't see it as much as I can. That's okay. If you have a fan or a window open, this will dry really good for you. So we're just gonna put a big, about 2 inches away from the center on both sides. Black center. Beautiful. All right, so while that is drying, we're gonna clean our brush off. And we're gonna go into the green oxide. And to be careful with your black paint because it definitely is gonna be hidden inside those bristles. So do your very best to clean it off as much as possible. And now we're gonna work with these two colors. We're gonna go back and forth between the green oxide and the white. And this is all about excess paint. Like we're just gonna grab a hold of so much paint, load it up. And we're going to put the green background color up there. Now you'll notice that there aren't any more lines, right? Now it's just kind of a big, crazy looking mess. So the green is going to be in this area here. There's no wrong way to apply it, but we just want to put it away from the bloom. The bloom is going to go on top of it. It will go all the way around this entire thing and then over some of that green. But we want to start by putting on some just strokes. Now we're pulling it from the outside in. We're going to let it disappear on the way in. So we want it strong on the outside and disappearing on the inside. Now also, we're grabbing that white and stay off to the side because we are going to use this white for other things. So it's better if it's not super contaminated, but it's okay if we get some of the colors in there. So you see how it's blending and it's disappearing into the center because that bloom is going to come right through here. So you don't have to worry. We just got to get it past that point where the bloom is going to come out. And you can always make your bloom bigger. So don't worry. Oops, I went the opposite way. Whoops. It's okay. It's because it was downwards. So always load that brush up with that green. And then you're going to grab that white from the side of your cup and just smear it right in. It will blend a tiny bit, and that's okay. It looks fabulous. And pull as much as you like. You decide what that's going to look like. This is our greenery right behind here, so beautiful. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. I think that looks great. Okay. I'm gonna grab a little bit more green. A little bit up here. Have fun with it. That's basically what it is. Now I did a little bit more on this one than I did on that one, but I just was feeling it. So do as your heart wishes. Beautiful little leaves just hanging out the back of the bloom. Okay, so now we're gonna clean this brush off and you are gonna wait until that green dries. You don't want it to blend with the other colors. It's not gonna be pretty. No blending with the green. The green needs to be completely dried off. We're going to be working with the deep red and the Venetian red and the white. It's called loading your brush, and it's triple loading it because we're taking all three of those colors. So we're taking the deep red, the Venetian, which I have in the same cup because I'm out of cups, but you will have a separate cup. And then the white. So stay away from the green and just go right into that white over here. Now you've got a triple loaded brush. It's got 3 different colors on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to make the larger outer ring, which is going to be this one that goes around like this. So it's going to overlap the green a little bit. And it's just going to barely touch the black area. So because this is still wet for me, but it won't be for you because you're going to use a fan or have a window open or wait. for it to dry. I'm gonna start over here and just work my way around to here, and hopefully by then it will be dry. So you're just gonna pick a point anywhere out here. If you notice, the blooms touch the edge of the canvas. They go off on this side, but they touch the edge of the canvas and then go over the green. So keep that in mind as you pull. So we're just gonna pull, and this is gonna take a lot of paint. So you will have full cups because we do need a lot of paint. We're gonna pull those red, beautiful petals right into the center. Red, deep red, and Venetian red. And keep in mind that you do want to keep it's fanned out. So you want to make sure you're curving around as you start to get to the side of the canvas. Start curving it around. Oop, I don't have enough white on here. Grabbing some of that white paint to pull in those beautiful petals. And it will blend on the canvas. Pulling it in, and the reason being is because when you touch the canvas, you create a blob, and then you pull it in and it disappears. And the disappearing is okay because we're putting another layer on that. So it doesn't really matter about this area here. What matters is what you see on the outside, and that's the texture and the blending of the colors. Look at this. So beautiful. We do want to make it nice and thick like a flower would be. Nice and thick. We're not going to see. We see some of the background behind it, but we don't need to see a whole lot of it. This is tricky because you are going to go off the canvas a little bit, but then your paint kind of gets stuck on the edge over there. We don't really want to lose that paint. Triple load, remember. Red, deep red, Venetian red, and white. Now, if it gets weird when you start going like this, because pulling from up to the middle is kind of weird, you can flip your canvas over just so it doesn't look weird. I'm not going to do that, but it's going to look weird as I'm painting it because I have to change the direction that I'm pulling. It's already coming together. It's so pretty. It's pretty because it's got 3 different colors, and then there's the blended color too. So we've got the reds and it's not a pink, but it's a lighter red color. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of paint. Okay, I'm gonna have to add more. I didn't put enough in my cups. Always pulling it into the center. So we're trying to create this fanned out look. And so it is hard. I'm not gonna lie, pulling it around the bottom of it was a little challenging. But like I said, turn your canvas. Just turn it. Layers and layers and layers of this. My green is still a little wet, so I'm trying to stall. Let's see, more red, more Venetian, same cup. Ooh, I grabbed some of that black. The black paint was still wet, and that's okay too. Because we do have some black. Oh, it's so pretty, look at that. Just love all the colors and the texture. All right, here we go over the green. I'm pensive because I don't want it to blend. See how I'm starting to curve? That's not the way you want to go. I gotta straighten that back out. Luckily we have an inside layer that's gonna cover that, so it'll be okay. But keep in mind we're going into the center of this. That's what creates that starburst look. Gotta pay attention. So pretty, fun and pretty. Perfect for these beautiful days that we're having. All the flowers are starting to pop up. Makes it a little bit easier to be at home and seeing all sorts of weird things come out of the ground that I've not seen before because I'm never home. So I never get to see the flowers and what goes on in the garden. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so you can see now we've got the outer ring of this. I feel like this should have a little bit more out here. Let's see. I'm gonna pull it down a little further. And this feels like it should be thicker through here. So we don't want to cover all the greenery. We want to lay it on top of it and have it peeking out. So keeping that in mind, don't cover it all. Just let it peek right out. But then we also don't want too much of that blue to peek out either. It's a very fun balance. Let's see, how does that look? I'm gonna step back. Oh, it's gorgeous. Wow. Look at how fun this one is. We'll definitely do this in person once we get the all clear to go back into the world. I'll bring it to Whitewall, I think. Maybe like Stevens Brewery, Creamery in Marysville, and there's all our places. Skookum, all the puppies. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we're going to go into the middle ring, and that one is going to be, it's very similar, but we're going to shorten it. So what we want to do is we want to close up this little black area here, but we want to overlap this one, and it's a majority of white paint with a little bit of the reds in it. And the same thing, we're going to pull it in. So grab that same dirty brush, just grab a bunch of the white paint, then start the measurement here, 4 inches away from the center, and then just start pulling it in. Just like we did on this big ring, make a smaller ring now. And making sure to keep that really fun starburst going. Pulling in as much as you can. I know I keep changing, I keep reversing the way I'm painting, but it's because when you turn around, you want to go the opposite way. But it's okay. It's not wrong, it's just it will look better if you pull those paint strokes into the center. And keeping it as symmetrical as possible, of course. Get a little bit bigger on this side. A little bit thicker. You've got a different view than I have. You're kind of looking straight on. I'm looking off to the side like this. It's very different. And I'm smearing some black into it because it's not completely dry yet. Which is weird because I have a lot of air blowing in here, but that's okay. We will work what we got. How's it looking? I think it's looking fabulous. Ooh, yeah. That's pretty symmetrical, right? I'm seeing it. Right here. I feel good about that. Okay, so now that we've got that centerpiece in, we're going to take our flat brush. So we've got a flat one, it can be angled or whatever, but it's just flat enough. And we're gonna grab some of that bright, deep red color and load up that brush and pull it from the center out. So we're just gonna have little sprigs of color coming from that center out. Now, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but we want it to dry before you do that so that we don't have that blending. This is supposed to be a vibrant red color coming out of the center of this flower. So don't let that white blend. Just all about having patience or a fan, which I have neither. So yeah. Okay. So once you've got that really cool center going on there, you can add a tiny bit of that Venetian red on top of that. I'll give it a fun color. Yeah. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of black in the center. Just because I kind of I got a little overzealous there and I kind of went over it. So we're just gonna pull some black back in there. Not too much, but I got a little overzealous and it definitely needs to have an inky black core to it. There we go. So I just put it back in. Same thing, I use the flat brush and I'm just gently putting it back in. Okay, now after you've done that, we're going to take some of that chrome yellow and put in the little puffs of, they're covered in allergy material. That's what I know. These things make me sneeze. So we're just going to take a little bit of that chrome yellow and put little dashes. So you're just gonna make little dashes of where, are they called stymon? Can't remember. But they make me sneeze. So put them here and there. My black is still wet, so it's wanting to blend in. But we want some bright yellow pops in there. Here and there, because they float. They're on these little tiny like needles and they float in the middle of the flower. That feels like a good amount, right? All right. Now you're going to do the same thing with the black. You're just going to take that same little brush with black and we're just going to put little dashes of black coming out of the center. Try not to be too symmetrical with this. This is kind of like a helter-skelter. And push the brush on a few times and it'll give you a thicker one as opposed to these little skinny things I've been doing here. Just wanna, there we go, thicken those up. Oh yeah. That's lovely. Okay, and then the finishing touch is going to be taking the back of your paintbrush, dipping it into the white, and then popping a few little white dots just here and there. in that center. And voila, there we go. I think I say that in every video, huh? Voila. We've got our flower burst. Mine is still very, very wet. It has all this texture in it that's gonna dry, and then you'll be able to feel it and see it. It'll catch the light and throw it off a little bit. But I love it. I love it just as much as I did the first time that I painted it, and I hope you do too. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below in the comments, or you can get a hold of me on Facebook at Island Girl Paint Party or Island Girl Creative Studio. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and the subscribe, and that'll help YouTube to see that I'm doing a good job, and then we'll be able to bring you more videos, and they'll pop up on their own, and it'll be fantastic. So I hope you're having a great day. I look forward to seeing you all in person very soon here. And yeah, see you later. Thank you.